running game, the best thing about that is that it keeps the other offense off the field and it keeps your defense, energetic.
Yeah.
Because then if I don't have to go out there for the next 5 to 10 minutes and I'm cool, I got my health up. But with the Chiefs, it's like, all right, we get on the field, we score in like, a minute or two, and then we off again. And then they score. It's like you go back and forth, and then like all we're waiting for is the time to run out to see who won. And that's what happened literally in this game.
Yep. I don't know, man.
Because like you said, you have to stop somebody eventually.
And what's the Chiefs' record now? Like 6-4 now, right?
6-4.
Yeah, they lost, 2 straight?
I don't know. No. I think they won last week. So they're 1-2.
So they what 1-1 since Mahomes been out, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. I think they lost one with Matt Moore and won one with Matt Moore, and then Mahomes come back and then they lose.
Yeah, because they lost to the Packers, and they won against the Broncos, and then they just.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't see them going far.
Not with that defense.
Yeah, right, Nate. Right.
I don't
you still see them making the playoffs.
They'll make the playoffs, but
because the AFC is not as thick as the NFC.
It could be argued that will they even win their division? Because Oakland
is on the come up.
John Gruden's got this team playing like. But Ken, I know you saying that, but look at their record. Look at their expectations. We talked about expectations coming in the season for Baltimore. Like, look at we had it probably even worse for that. I thought we were gonna be talking about them getting a lottery pick.
Yeah.
Now they're vying for a playoff seed.
I mean, I don't know. I still don't believe it.
Yeah, you still don't.
Don't believe it. They beat Phillip Rivers. It's not hard to do. And I thought the Chargers were about to go on there,
In that game, who is the better quarterback, Phillip or Derek?
Phillip, yeah.
Usually, if you got the better quarterback, you should win the game.
Yeah, but the Chargers haven't been playing good all year.
And they just came off of beating Green Bay last week. Smashed Green Bay.
They were due any given Sunday. But I just only because of the play of the Chargers, and I think that's a division game also. So that one could go either way. And the Chargers got some issues they need to deal with. They're talking about leaving the city again.
Because nobody's going to these games.
Yeah.
You can't have all these teams in California. Nobody, like when you got the beach, you got legalized marijuana, like you got all these concerts and celebrities. Like it's really hard to it's not like you in St. Louis or you in Tennessee where it ain't shit but this.
Exactly.
This ain't no state, period.
Yeah. But I'll commend him. I'll give him props for the record. 5-4. That's big. That's good. But winning the division.
I'm just saying, like right now, the Chiefs 6-4. I don't. Let me look at their standings. The Chiefs are half a game out from the number 1 seed in the West. From top of the West in the AFC.
Plus, they have a tougher schedule anyway, based on their record last year. So, and then you don't expect to lose Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes need to get it together. I don't care what he did last week in terms of 404 yards and 440 yards.
What are you asking of him that he hasn't already done?
Win that game.
I think I don't know.
You want to see more. You want to see Mahomes get them doubles.
Hey man, we giving him all this praise, all this props. He's turning into a light-skinned Aaron Rodgers.
I've said that. I said that earlier. I was like, the way people compared him to Aaron Rodgers earlier. I'm like, all right, that's not always a good thing because it just now took Aaron Rodgers this part of his career after that Super Bowl.
At least Aaron Rodgers got a Super Bowl, but Patrick hasn't even got one yet.
But we all have said Rodgers should have had more. He should have been to the big dance a lot more than he should have. He was
not with the teams that he's at and that defense he's at.
Yeah. Man, remember that one year he was 15-0 or 15-1, and then they got bounced out. What was it, first or second round of the playoffs?
I remember. I have to look at that defense.
But it was just like that was. He's had multiple MVP cases as far as his season, and it's like, all right, we're the Packers
teams. But either way, it is very reminiscent of Aaron Rodgers, one way or the other. But Aaron Rodgers did eventually win a Super Bowl. Will Patrick win one because he has all of the talent and the weapons, but no defense? Who does that sound like? Sounds like Aaron Rodgers to me. And they got Andy Reid as the coach who's been to a Super Bowl, Mike McCarthy, I think he won a Super Bowl, right? Was that his Super Bowl?
That was the Super Bowl in 2010.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Yep.
they might be similar, man.
I'll say this: the Chiefs got a hard road. They got the Chargers. They're
They should be
on the road. Up next, then they got at home the Raiders. Then they're on the road against New England. So it's at Foxborough.
Oh, they should beat the Raiders.
They got the Broncos, and then they got the last two games. They're at the Bears, and then they at home against the Chargers again.
They should win all those, maybe except the New England game. They should.
I would say the New England game and the Bears game is what I'm looking at. And even that Raiders game, because the Raiders played them tough earlier this year.
The only thing that worries me is the defense. But if Patrick Mahomes is that guy.
'Cause that's what you got to think about. It's not Patrick Mahomes against their quarterback, or it's their defense.
We're not letting him off the hook. If he that guy,
If you're that guy, he's supposed to.
he got to win this.
Gotta win.
Hey, Belichick. I mean, Brady won games when his defense was terrible.
He has.
So we're not going to start baking in these excuses for the brother.
All right. Well, talking about the young guys in the league, I was gonna say, which team is more disappointing this season so far, the Jets or the Giants? As far as, because obviously they had their toilet bowl. That's what everybody called that game. I would say it's the Giants, just for the fact that what happened to Saquon? Obviously, he's
overrated.
He's been dealing with an injury. He's been dealing with an injury, so I'll give him that. He was out for 3, and he really should have been coming back instead of coming back as early as he did. But I had higher expectations for Saquon this season. I knew Daniel was going to start eventually. I'm waiting for him to get that fumble shit taken care of, because that literally cost him the game.
White Jameis Winston, he out there like that.
And then on top of that, Pat Shermer is supposed to come in hot off that NFC title game. Right, yeah, it was a title game, right?
Pat Shermer?
Yeah, when the Minnesota was the Minnesota.
Oh, when he was coaching in Minnesota.
Yeah, with the Saints. Was that a title? Was that a divisional?
How
game?
many wins Pat Shermer got? Like 10 when he was hired. Was it like 10?
Probably. It was pretty low.
He can't coach.
Yeah, it was pretty low.
So I don't know what you expected to get from him.
Everybody's telling me that this is an offensive coordinator, era where all the offensive the OCs are getting head coaching jobs. I mean, you got Kyle Shanahan, you got Sean Payton, you got Sean McVay.
Kyle Shanahan got to a Super Bowl. Sean McVay is just weird.
What you mean?
No, just because he's very obsessed with football, kind of like Belichick.
Well, because he grew up in it.
Yeah, so he's just weird. So his success isn't surprising, but look where he at. All these new guys, they ain't winning.
Matt Nagy had a good run last year.
Had a good year. Look at where he's at. The guy Patricia, look at where he's at. Like all these guys, they trying to bring in to win, and and they haven't been succeeding. And Pat Shermer, at least they took a chance on guys that don't have a record. They knew what Pat Shermer was, and that's the thing about it. Like we all knew he couldn't coach. You didn't know about Matt Nagy or Patricia or McVay.
Yeah.
Or all these other guys. They were unknowns. They were young guys. So now you're learning about them, and here we are. But Pat, they could have if you're gonna lose, take a chance with somebody that you don't know can coach. That's all I'm saying. But
I was just saying, like, I need to see more. Like, I wanted to see more out of, like, the offensive play calling is not innovative. It's not interesting. It's very mundane and bland. And I don't even think I think Daniel Jones is a good QB or will be one, but I don't think he puts him in a good position as far as play calling to showcase that. Like,
okay, so
it's
what
still
was
early on him? The jury's still out on Daniel Jones.
Yeah,
I think he has the intangibles to be a really
good
franchise
QB.
Yeah.
Daniel, but what was Pat Shermer's role in Minnesota? Because I remember
he was the offensive coordinator.
So he took over for
North Turner, I believe.
DiFilippio.
All I remember was North Turner was there with Teddy, and then he left. I thought he came in right after that.
Pat's second year coaching the Giants?
Yeah.
So he was there 2 years ago when Minnesota went to the playoffs.
Title. Was that the NFC title?
Was that the game? Diggs had that catch over.
I think that was the game. No, that was the game before the NFC title game, because that got them to the NFC title game.
Yeah, because they
lost.
Yeah.
Teams typically try to pluck away from winning organizations. We saw it was successful with Frank Reich when they went and got him from Philly. My thing again is just Pat Shurmur, like, and I'm not one to always harp on the record. My thing is like, I am in this case because I think there's some young guys. You already mentioned a guy in Kansas City, the guy that took over from Minnesota as the OC that people thought was going to get hired. Should have got a chance. Let's just get rid of these old guys, man. It's just like looking in politics in Congress. Get them old motherfuckers out of here.
Yeah. Get some
young bloods in.
Yeah.
So, but they keep recycling the guys. So I don't know.
But with the Jets, I think
I'm gonna say the Jets.
You're gonna say the Jets. Why?
I'm gonna say the Jets only because
of Ty Bowles.
No, because they did my man dirty, and I'm glad and I'm enjoying everything they're getting this year. But it was Sam Darnold's second year. They brought in Adam Gase, the QB whisperer, to open up the offense. So maybe a little bit because of Todd Bowles, because he was a defensive coach. And Adam Gase was supposed to come in and, take Sam Darnold to the next level. They got Le'Veon Bell. And what do we get? Like, we got nothing. Daniel Jones, you at least knew, like you said, at some point he was going to start. He's still a rookie at the end of the day, so you have to temper your expectations. I don't care how good Saquon is supposed to be. Mm-hmm. He's not throwing that ball. And they had average talent, in the receiver position.
Yeah, because they pretty much gutted the whole receiving core after that OBJ trade.
So we couldn't really expect much. And then they got rid of OBJ.
Mm-hmm.
So, but with Adam Gase, was supposed to come in and he was supposed to take them at least get that 500, and they look terrible.
Yeah, man, Sam Darnold out there seeing ghosts. You know what I'm saying?
And that's
be out there seeing ghosts. Yeah,
you can't be out there seeing ghosts.
Every time I think of him, I think of what was it? Most Def saying kids see ghosts sometimes. I always think of that
could haunt him.
Yeah.
So that is that his butt fumble? That's gonna be where we recognize him. Like we always gonna bring that up. Like the same way we did with
Mark Sanchez.
Play well. He has to take the next step, and he hasn't. Baker's getting a lot of criticism, but Sam looks like trash too. He's turning a ball over at a high rate, and when I look at him and Josh Rosen already been benched, this QB class that everybody was so high on.
This QB class is ass.
Yeah, people
outside of Lamar.
People were so high on Rosen and Sam Darnold.
They were trying to make it seem like it was that one QB draft class, like with Eli and Rivers.
Eli Rivers,
and then the one with Dan Marino was in. I think that was a good QB draft class as well.
That was John Elway and Marino.
Yes, they were trying to compare it to that. I was like, it did sound good at the time, but as you see the results, is like.
Sam had a couple of good moments in that game, but against you have to take it. I mean, the Giants' defense isn't that good. Mm-hmm. So, what happens when you're under pressure? And so I don't know. I think the Jets, because their
future is a little bit more murky than the Giants.
It was supposed to be this was supposed to be a step forward.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it was supposed to be a step forward, and it wasn't.
Speaking of coaching, you were talking about the coaching carousel earlier, as far as where people have landed. Does the Dolphins winning against the Colts, does that keep Brian? Bro, I feel like Brian Flores he's on a little run right now. Has he done enough to be like, okay, this can be our guy for at least the next couple of seasons?
I think Kyle may have pointed this out, that they already said that he's not going anywhere. You can't trust them.
He has Cam not going anywhere?
Brian Flores. So they said that I think they said they're not tanking, but Brian Flores' job isn't in jeopardy based on the results of this season. But it was good. But he beat Brian Hoyer.
He still beat him with Fitzpatrick as his QB.
And Fitzpatrick wasn't that great, but you're supposed to beat Brian Hoyer, man. The guy's like 50. And I told you, and didn't I tell you don't pick him up? And Mike said to play Matt Ryan.
I played Matt Ryan.
I know you did.
Yeah.
I know you did.
Yeah.
I had to pick up Brian Hoyer. I still went 3-0 this week, but I'm trying to get in the playoffs, man.
I'm trying. I had a little streak, and that shit got snapped this week.
Dang, man.
It dropped me down to in one of the leagues. I'm down to the 8th spot. I'm like, God damn, I'm barely making the playoffs.
Man, when I saw Brian Hoyer threw 1 touchdown and 3 picks against the Dolphins, I'm like, Jesus Christ. And I picked up Trubisky, who 3 touchdowns. Jesus, man. But to you, I think every win helps. Everything, I think, because they'll maybe look at those wins and think, okay, what if we do give them some real talent and that we actually are trying to win? based on his schemes, based on his ability to motivate the troops, is he the guy that we want to, hitch our
is quarterback their main concern going into this offseason?
Yep. Which is weird. They got Josh Rosen, and
that's why I'm wondering, because for me it's like
they traded for him, right?
Yeah, they did. They traded some peanuts for him. But I will say this: if they draft a QB, then I think he stays for at least 2-3 years. If they don't, then that says a lot to me.
Well, they'll have to draft a QB because they're not losing these games for no reason, and they got all these picks. I think, especially if they're not playing Josh Rosen too, that's the sign for me that they're looking in the draft. And I don't know why they don't want to play Josh. Like
he must have done something where nobody, because everybody keep bringing up the fact that when he came out that draft class, he was saying like, "Oh, there's like 9 other teams that made a mistake or whatever." And I didn't take that to mean much, but like everybody keeps bringing that up. Like he came in cocky as hell. Mm-hmm. And obviously NFL owners and GMs, they don't like players who come from money, because that means that they question their love for the game. Right. And they said he was too smart. It was weird how they were dissecting him.
They picked him apart, yeah, they did. But if you can't start over Fitzpatrick, like, what are you doing? But I haven't seen any negative stories.
That's what I'm saying. I don't. And even when he got traded, he was like, "Thanks for Arizona for all they did." And I'm looking. He's saying all the right shit. He got the PR team working.
Not saying shit. Even when he got benched in Miami, this would be the perfect year to find out what they got. But it feels like Flores is trying to win games, so that's why he went with the veteran. At some point, Fitzpatrick's going to come out of there. They're going to have to play Josh Rosen. Even if it's for the last 4 games of the year, they need to know.
They need sample size. Is golf a bust, or is this just the Super Bowl hangover? Because I don't want to say he's a bust.
I don't want to say he's a bust.
Super Bowl hangover. We've seen it before.
That's what I'm saying.
But can he bounce back from the Super Bowl hangover, though?
And
we've seen QBs and players or teams that make it to Super Bowl, and then they just don't quite bounce back.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Cam Newton right now is a prime example of that shit.
When FIFO brought this up when we was playing Madden, he was like, "Man, I was playing Madden with the Rams playbook, and they really only got 3 types of like formations, and that's what they run their whole offense from." I'm like, bro, that's just probably the game. Mm-hmm. I was watching Red Zone, right, and so it was the 4 o'clock game, I believe. So it was like going back and forth on like 3 games. I was looking at their formation and the disguises they do will have all these people going in motion and shit, and they'll just run the ball up the gut. They did that They did that like at least 8 times. Mm-hmm. It got to the point where it's like, oh yeah, when I see them doing this disguise and shit, they about to just run the ball up the middle, and they did it. And I'm like, how can you be like Sean McVay? Like you can't game plan out of that second half. You can't throw the ball down. Like the Steelers locked down. Cooper Kupp was like, he was not to be seen. They put it like he should have been on the milk carton. Like you couldn't find him. Like every time they tried to go to him, he only had 4 targets because they was blanking him, and every time they went to him, they would bat it down, damn near be a pick. What happened to this offense? What happened to this deep? Where's Aaron Donald at? At this point, I'm questioning everybody.
Yeah,
I feel like I'm sounding like him.
Remember, he was like him and Khalil Mack was like the
best players in the league.
1A, 1B defensive players.
And I'm like,
go.
What is going on with this? And again, that's why I'm like, hold on, let me step back. Is this the Super Bowl hangover? Is this like, all right, we got drunk off success after the last 3 seasons? You go, you know what I'm saying? Like the first season, Sean McVay take you 11 games.
And the way that they were running up the score last year on folks,
that Chiefs game with them was like, that was 100 points.
Yeah,
B, you know combined. The problem.
What's the problem?
You know one of the main problems.
Which is the main problem?
Gurley.
Oh yeah, of course. Something is not right with Gurley.
So draft a running back,
or they got DJ Henderson, or they got Malcolm Brown.
Or can you because of the paycheck?
Man, something is wrong with Gurley.
Well, he got arthritis in his knee. That's what I heard. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that ain't going nowhere.
Right, I'm saying that's one point right there because you got to run the ball.
That offense was built
around. Yep, it was built around him. That's why the success of the receivers was so noticeable last year because Gurley.
And why did not? He was available.
They didn't want those problems.
Yeah.
Some organizations don't.
Yeah, some of them teams was like, oh no, I don't stay away from that nigger.
That's why they drafted that Henderson guy.
Henderson ain't shit either though.
They haven't given him a shot.
But that's why they drafted him though, because they would stand away from Kareem Hunt.
And he might not be shit because I mean, if they drafted you, you're supposed to at least touch the field, like Rashard Penny in Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was a draft pick and he can't even touch the field. He got 2 carries and he fumbled. They don't like him. Chris Carson is the guy that's getting the run.
Chris Carson be fumbling too, so I don't even know why they like him.
But Gurley is the problem. But look, I'm glad y'all need to listen to me, man.
All right, that's all
I tried to tell y'all about Aaron Donald. I called out Aaron Donald. I was like, man.
I'm just saying what happened. I'm not really saying like these are busts and these players ain't shit and they overrated. I'm just saying like what the hell happened?
So you think it was a fluke, pretty much.
The league caught up with them.
Right.
So I think that's one. But I think that's 2. Mm-hmm. Number 1 is Gurley. That offense was built around Gurley. Gurley was the engine that made that car run.
He was.
And now that he's no longer a factor, they're struggling, and it made Goff look better than what he actually was.
Right, because when you got somebody like Gurley, you can just hand the ball off to and do your light work. Guess what? It's going to take a lot. Any QB with like a superb running game, it's going to take the load off them easily. It's going to make them look a little better.
Yep, but here's what I want to see. Because they were in love with Sean McVay.
They was. Remember? Ooh, they were so in love with him last year.
Half the damn league got a job because of Sean McVay.
If he beat Bill Belichick, they were ready. They were ready to put him on that panel, boy.
Where's ass at now? Where's the criticism of him? This team is pretty much coming back intact with a banged up Gurley, but if he's supposed to be so great.
Because they was labeling him, they were giving him the football genius label and everything.
And you got Jalen Ramsey.
Yep. You're not supposed to be, 5-4? You're not supposed to lose to a Steelers team with a backup.
With a backup QB.
Everybody is a backup on that damn team.
And you lost? You can muster up more than 12 points? Nah. But I try to also tell you that he won top 10, and you even went as far to put him in your 8.
Who, Goff?
He had an MVP year that year. He was same shit about Carson Wentz that we bring up. That he was an MVP candidate. He was an MVP candidate at that point.
At least we saw it with Carson Wentz. But anyway,
he went to the Super Bowl. Carson ain't do shit. He didn't even play the playoffs. But I digress. I think that this is a Super Bowl hangover. But I will say that moving forward, they have to change that offense. Like if they keep on, if they don't expand the playbook, if Sean McVay doesn't come back with a whole new scheme, even towards the end of the season, like how do you end the season?
He should already have one.
Because you can still salvage the season. Again, even though he's in a tough division, obviously we talked earlier about the NFC West, he still should be that. He should be fighting with Seattle.
Right.
Y'all playing the same games. They're 7-2, and you 5-5.
You're losing the division to Jimmy G, a quarterback and Kyle Shanahan, a quarterback that hasn't played in a year. Like what? And you're the Super Bowl runner-up. What the hell?
Right.
You the NFC champs.
With the what? He was a number 1 draft pick. And that's all you can do. And you're losing the division? Come on. What the hell are you doing? Didn't the 49ers whoop the Steelers' ass?
That game when that was the game where the Steelers had a lot of picks.
But they won. They beat them.
They beat them, yeah.
And then the Rams go up there and lose.
Who are you more impressed with? Cousins with the win or Dak with the loss?
Neither. Dalvin Cook.
All right, you gonna
hey,
you gonna pick the C option?
Hey, when I saw some of those runs and some of those cuts,
man,
that boy was looking nice.
Yeah, now that's looking like a top 5 back.
Yeah, like man, he healthy now.
Yeah.
Somebody said it takes about a year, right?
Yeah,
it's supposed to be 2 years after that injury.
Yeah, he was making some cuts and some jumps and stuff, some starts and stops. I was like, oh, okay, okay, that's what Zeke's supposed to be looking like. But
what's wrong with Zeke? Is it that
Kellen
money?
Moore and Jason Garrett?
That's what is it the money? I think it's the money, man.
He got his money.
It's not
sometimes
the money.
when players get their money, sometimes they regress back a little bit.
I think it's the coaching.
Skip said he had a funny joke. He was like, Zeke is running like he's still in Cabo, running on the sand. Like it seems like
it's the coaching, man. I think it's the coaching.
I think he got his money and got fat.
I think that's the easiest thing we can look at.
But
because
it's happened before, though.
1 + 1. Well, no, wait.
He did hold out.
Correlation does not equal causation. What you know what I'm saying?
Look,
correlation does not equal causation.
Like he came in holding out. He literally started the first game of the week, And even though he's had some good games, I'm not gonna say like he's been a bust or anything. But he's not top 5. He's top 10. But this season, statistically, he's not top 5.
Yeah, man, that shit takes a toll whenever you're not in training camp. I mean, you don't have to play all the preseason games, but if you're not in training camp getting some
football
reps
shape,
Who's top 5 now then?
Running back?
Not in order. I would say definitely the first two is McCaffrey.
Yeah, Cook and McCaffrey.
Okay, easy. Okay.
Man, who are the running back? Would you say Mixon? No.
No, hell no, not Mixon. Hell no.
I'm just thinking of running backs.
Mark Ingram, I would say he's a top 5 back right now. The way he's been running.
Let's look at something. You're gonna come up with names. I'm about to look at stats.
He's a good running back, but nah, I think he's still somewhat dependent. I like him though. I like him a lot. I always felt he was underutilized.
All right, so here are the top 5 rushers as far as yards for running backs.
Okay.
Dalvin Cook is number 1 with 991. McCaffrey is number 2 at 989. Nick Chubb, 919.
Okay.
Chris Carson, 853.
I didn't want to say his name, but I knew he was probably up there.
Derrick Henry at 5th at 832.
Okay, he's in.
And then at 6th, Fournette, Jacksonville. He got 831.
Top 5. He has the talent.
Yeah.
Chris Carson by volume. So
This is not saying I'm not putting them as like these are the top 5 best backs in the league. I'm saying right now these are the top 5 backs, and Zeke is like number 7 on that list probably.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I'm kind of doing it by both.
He's eight yards.
I'm kind of doing it by both because I think I'm factoring in the offense because Chris Carson. How many attempts Chris Carson has?
He probably get like 20 at least a game.
And I don't think they feed Zeke enough.
I was looking at touchdowns now.
Shit, they fed him at the end of the game.
Chris Carson has 200 attempts. He got the second most attempts in the league.
And third or fourth in yards?
They ran
Cook got the most
girl.
attempts with 203. Carson is second with 200. McCaffrey got 185. Derrick Henry got 187. Ezekiel Elliott got 178.
So he's 5th?
In attempts?
Or 5th or 4th?
He's
right below?
He's 5th in attempts.
Okay, well, shit.
And he's 8th in yards.
And out of those offensive lines, they got the best one out of that list.
Yeah.
So they say. Okay, well, that's not good.
Yeah, man.
He only got 47 yards?
Because you're getting the attempts, but you're 8th in yards, so you're not your yards per attempt are definitely not
man, running
matching
backs
up.
are really thin now, man. I remember running backs used to be so deep back in the days.
Yeah, because
Well, that's because most of the times they splitting carries between at least 2 backs now.
Because that means Nick Chubb he's making more explosive plays than Ezekiel Elliott.
Yeah, he is.
I still think coaching has something to do with it, but he doesn't.
Well, shit, Moore is better than Kitchens. So, but
yeah, he doesn't look the same. There is definitely something going on, but just the game script sometimes just look bad. But
why did you said neither though? As far as Dak and Cousins, why?
Because we know who Cousins is. Dak had a good game, but I still think for whatever reason he's dependent on Zeke. And he still couldn't win that game. And I think there was a throw he couldn't connect on, like late to win it.
That was a bad play. That was a bad play call, though. I won't say that was Dak. It was just like, all right, Dak literally threw the ball all the way down to the red zone. They were in within the 15-yard line.
Mm-hmm. And
then you just run the ball twice when Zeke has not been effective running the ball at all that whole game.
Yeah.
And then on the fourth down, your option is to go to Zeke in the flat with Kendricks on him. I believe. Like, come on, like you should have. You keep going. Like Zeke. Like,
were they stacking the box against Zeke?
Somewhat, but they would have to because that's how Dak was getting off those throws.
I think that's the game plan. I think teams come in and say we're gonna stop Zeke. We're gonna make Dak beat
But
you.
Dak was throwing. I've never seen Dak. That was probably the best game I've seen Dak as a mature quarterback.
From what it sounds like, and I should have watched the long highlights for this. It sounds like if he was dealing like that, and based on the box score, it looks like he was, then he should have gotten 2 opportunities.
Like him and Amari have a beautiful relationship.
Yeah, they do.
Amari had 2 great toe tapping catches.
Because even if he couldn't make the pass, he could have. If they're at the 11,
Just
he
get the
probably
first.
could have ran for it or something like that.
Because it was like 4th and 3 or 4.
But so with Zeke or whether it's coaching with end of the game and decision making, it would sound like it's bad. This guy, they're 5-4 with all that talent. The Eagles.
My thing is
they have way more talent than the Eagles.
Did they pay people too early? Because you didn't have to pay Zeke this year.
I don't think
you didn't have to pay. I think, but you didn't have to pay him that much. You didn't have to pay. I don't think you even had to pay Jalen Smith this year.
I think you need stability. I don't think they paid him too early, but I think
I'm talking about the collection of players that they paid.
No, I got you.
Those are all the issues. What happened to that defense? What's up with that front four? Y'all balled out against the Eagles. And now you can't get no pass rush really on Kirk Cousins.
But if the talent is still there and they're underachieving, can we really look at the talent and say, like, I think at some point we have to look at.
Are you talking about Garrett or?
Yep. Kellen Moore, people have been, even myself, have been ranting and raving about Kellen Moore. What's the constant? The constant is Garrett. And so and basically what Jerry is saying is we're going to create a stable environment with this roster. This is what you have. These are your ingredients. Now, what are you going to make? Because right now, this restaurant that I got, I don't have a lot of customers. They coming in here and they walking out because they don't like what you. Well, shit, they might like what they getting on the meal because they walking out with.
You saying they got the best produce, but they got a shitty cook.
Mm-hmm. So I don't think because you got to lock up the talent, but now I think at some point Jerry's gonna have to be like, all right. Look.
But then why isn't Dak being compensated when you paid all these players and Dak's doing the most on the worst contract in the NFL right now?
He is, and one misstep, and it's over. That's the thing that scares me, and I wish Jerry Jones would pay that brother an ACL.
As in Dak,
it could be like Isaiah Thomas with Boston.
Yep. And that's why I hate that he's not paying that man. That man deserves to be paid. You know, my debate with you has never been about whether or not he's been paid. It's about his position in the NFL. But that man, and I'm just afraid, man. I'm afraid that that's something that's going to happen, and he's not going to pay him.
And to see his progression as a QB, if you don't believe in him now, then you never will believe in him.
He'll win
and you might as well trade and get some picks out of it because you already gave up your pick last year to get Amari Cooper.
And after what Jamal Adams did to
Daniel Jones,
they should have paid. They should have made that draft. They should have.
They said they talked to. They said they tried. I don't know how much. I don't know what that means.
They should have gave her that third pick that FIFO came back and reported. That was the thing. The Jets wanted the third. And Dallas wouldn't give it up. They wanted to give a fourth.
Yep.
That man snatched the ball out of Daniel Jones' hands and ran for a touchdown. We saw what happened in Pittsburgh with Minkah Fitzpatrick. It's worth it.
Jamal Adams may be the best safety in the football right now.
Probably, yeah. It's worth it, man. We saw with the impact of Jalen Ramsey. And like, these draft picks are more bust. I've always seen more bust.
I would say you go for players over picks.
Yeah.
Because those are the proven commodities.
Yep. So
picks could be anything.
Yep.
But I think it's one of my last questions. Are the Packers looking sloppy as the season is coming to an end?
A long season, I think.
I think they just got a good wake up call. I mean, I think it's one of those situations.
They bounce back though.
Yeah. I think it's one of those situations in NFL. Sometimes you get caught slipping.
They definitely got caught slipping by the Chargers.
Yeah,
and then this Panthers game, it came literally down to like, is McCaffrey gonna get through or not?
Right.
And they barely, and that was a questionable. Did he get in or not?
Right.
So that could have been 2 games losses, and you're trying to get again. This NFC is probably the best
it's deep.
It's ever been in a while. So you can't just keep getting these losses or like making these games that interesting, especially at home. They were at Lambeau.
We're getting down to the nitty gritty of the season now. It's about to start getting cold. So it's just sometimes you gonna kind of. Teams are wearing down a little bit.
Yep.
It's just natural. It's just the natural progression of a football season. You know what I'm saying?
And you got to be able to win games like that.
Yeah.
I didn't know he was at the 1 yard line.
Yeah, he was 1 yard line.
They drove down the field.
Yes.
Like with Kyle Allen, they drove and it was like 1 yard line. And I was watching that game closely because one of my homies, I was playing the fantasy.
It
was a good defensive stop on the Packers.
It was just it was.
The MVP,
he got close.
The MVP runner contender couldn't get in.
Well, they were trying to throw it first because they only had it was very short amount of time for them to get down to because they had to score to win.
Yeah, I have to go watch it.
So
I'm speaking of ignorance, but
yeah. Now I was watching that game because I could have lost my fantasy in my other league because of that.
the season. These games are tough. The Panthers are a tough team defensively. I think the biggest takeaway is the fact that they won and managed to actually get that stop.
Yeah.
The old Packer team wouldn't have done it. I think I wanted to see how they respond to losing a game like that. That wake-up call
Right.
that Aaron Rodgers mentioned last week. And they got back on the winning side of things. They made it interesting, but at least they won. Now, loss. Woo.
And a lot. He would have been bitching at the loss because he did not throw a touchdown in that game. They
Aaron
literally
Rodgers
ran up the gut.
And I played against Aaron Jones. I was mad about that.
I was happy because I was playing against Aaron Rodgers. So he would get all the way down the field. He would throw it, and it was just like red zone. All right, give it to Adams.
But I think that's good though. I know he didn't put up the numbers. He's had his moments where he's had to, so he can't be mad about that. But you need a running. They're gonna need that running game for the playoffs.
Yeah, that's true.
To close out the football talk, Cap just tweeted something as we recording this today about. Well, let me get a verbatim. I don't even want to paraphrase.
I saw that and didn't even really. I still don't know what it means.
Yeah, I don't know what it means. I mean, ain't nothing to get excited about.
He tweeted, "I'm just getting word from my representatives that the NFL league office reached out to them about a workout in Atlanta on Saturday. I've been in shape and ready for this for 3 years. Can't wait to see the head coaches and GMs on Saturday." That's this upcoming Saturday.
Okay. So they reached out to his people. And he didn't reach out to them, so that makes it a lot more interesting and a lot more.
But I mean, his people represent him, and he's been doing them workout videos and had a whole time clock that said that's how many times
they made him pay for it. I guess my question is, who needs a quarterback? Like, why now? What is this for? What are they up to?
I feel like they throw every time we mention that Chicago comes up, and will Chicago take? I don't know. With that city and its close ties to
Obama,
I was gonna say I think don't they have good military? Don't they do a lot of Chicago's good with the military?
I have no idea.
I don't know if that culture of that city yet. I'm not from Chicago, so speak on it. But I don't see Matt Nagy. Well, he could work with Collins.
He better try to work with somebody to save his job.
He got to save his job, but. Collins saying he's in shape, that doesn't mean much to me because every football player who holds out or hasn't been in the league a while says, I've been in quote-unquote football shape.
Yeah, it's different.
And that's different. So we'll see what that is, but I'm not expecting much out of it. My main question was, why do you want to go back to a league that you sued? Why do you want to go back to a job that you said that disrespected you so much that you called racism?
I just loves playing football.
Well, you could play in the Canadian football league. That's football, ain't it?
I get
XFL?
It, man. That's something he loves to do. Like to play football and to play at a professional level requires an insane level of dedication, and to sacrifice pretty much your whole life to get it taken away for something like that. Especially when you got Kenny Stills still out there kneeling, and other players still doing stuff. I think it's very mature of the league to finally get over themselves. If this is indeed true, we'll hear all of the reports in the coming days. But I think I'm glad to see that they may finally be getting over themselves. Let this man come back in. Let this man play. Let's move on and move forward, and take a step in the right direction. So I don't know. I'm like you. I'm waiting to see. I'm not happy. I'm not excited. I'm just like, okay. I'm more suspicious. What are y'all up to? What are y'all up to?
Yeah. I am too.
They up to no good. But the settlement's over, so it can't be that.
Yeah. So he got over that because he settled. My main thing is like if he come back and he is ass, like, it's gonna be. And
he might be.
He might be. But I'm sure people
years.
gonna give him a leash. Like, all right, this is his first time back. Give him a whole season. But if he showed, because obviously right now he's not anything new and spectacular like how he was when he left. You know what I mean? Like everybody's either caught up or surpassed him now, either throwing or running.
Hell, he wasn't that good when he after that Super Bowl.
He wasn't.
So,
but the Niners did dismantle most of that team, and most of them retired as well. So that team.
Man, me and FIFA used to argue all the time about Cap. I was like, man, Cap is not that dude you think he is. And then he finally, gave up.
But we'll see. I mean, I hope he gets an opportunity to see what he can do. But
and it may not but it may not necessarily. Right. So maybe you can come in, maybe play a game or two. Maybe everybody say, all right, we see that you can still be a backup, and he will get a job and he get back to doing what he's loved, and he just waits for an opportunity. We saw what happened with Teddy Bridgewater. He came in and he started to perform. He performed at a high level, and people wrote him off. So, and in that first game, he looked like he was, but then he managed to win some games. So we'll see. He'll be better than Sam Arnold and Baker Mayfield.
Well,
right
I hope
now.
so. Yeah, gotta be. Can't get much worse than that. Y'all ain't got anything left for football?
I don't.
Or we could talk about college football. Just a quick second on it. Did you catch that game or the highlights of the game?
I watched it on YouTube today. It's always a good day when Alabama loses.
Watch they still find a way to get in the playoffs though.
They number 4 right now, ain't they?
Yep.
They don't. How the hell
is
did
that?
you drop?
Wait. Is that the committee's pick or because I know
they got two different ones?
Yeah, the AP and the coaches poll they are number 4, which is some BS.
But the college one is the one you want to know.
Yeah, like the ones that make the final selection for the Final Four.
Well, okay, so the college playoff rankings right now is LSU at 1, Ohio State at 2, Clemson at 3, Georgia at 4.
Okay,
Alabama at 5.
that sounds
okay.
about right.
I thought they.
That's the college playoff rankings.
So now that
the AP they 4. Alabama's 4.
They go by the AP though, don't they?
Nah,
for the college playoff, they got the college playoff rankings.
Yeah, that's the committee.
Like this what I just said is if the playoffs start today, that's your top 4 is the LSU, Ohio State, Clemson, and Georgia.
And that's the setup.
Because Georgia's gonna lose.
Because Georgia will probably lose the SEC game.
To LSU.
To LSU, and
Yep.
that's how. And Alabama, with their schedule is probably cupcakes.
They got Auburn. I mean, that game is always tough because it's like a rival. You throw the record out the window.
Yeah.
But other than that, they play a cup. They always play a cupcake team before they play Auburn. Like I'm talking about super cupcake. Like somebody they gonna blow out by 60. You want to look at their schedule? I can tell you the schedule.
Yeah, what's the schedule? What's the rest of the games for Alabama?
For Alabama, they play Mississippi State, win. They play Western Carolina. That's what they play. That's gonna be the blowout game, and then they play Auburn. They finish the season out with Auburn at Auburn.
Yeah, the ones you're watching, you're gonna watch the ones that are below it that have those conference championship games. And Alabama's weak schedule could keep them out if those teams only have one loss and win their championship. You can look at Georgia beating LSU, and with them beating 4 top 10 teams, there's no way they're falling out.
Yeah, no, they won't.
So they'll get in.
But if Georgia beat LSU,
you have 2 one-loss teams.
Georgia would be the winner of the SEC championship, which means they automatically got to get in. LSU beat Alabama, so why would you put Alabama over LSU?
And Ohio State win.
Ohio State win out. Clemson win out.
Clemson win out. They're gonna get in.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I read a couple of different scenarios, and most of them seem unlikely that they'll get in.
But let me throw this scenario out. What if Minnesota beats Ohio State in the Big Ten championship game?
I watched that
Minnesota's still undefeated.
I watched that Minnesota Penn State game. I did not know Minnesota was that good, because they bullied Penn State.
Yeah,
I told y'all in the chat Penn State shouldn't have been that high.
But I mean, shit. From I'm thinking like, okay, this is the best game on for at the time it was on, and Minnesota was just dogging them, and I'm like, damn, I really want to see. Have they played Ohio State yet? Have they played
Minnesota?
If they don't play Ohio State, it won't be into the Big Ten championship game.
Yeah.
Penn
Penn State
they both
have
in
to
2
play
different
them.
divisions in the Big Ten.
Because Ohio State still got a matchup with Penn State and I think the Wolverines.
Yeah,
so they can lose.
Though. Yeah, they can possibly lose.
Yeah, they can lose either one of those.
Penn State does play them the best.
They's at home though. Ohio State plays great at home. So
they do
both games.
They play Michigan at Michigan.
Okay,
but Penn State only has 1 loss, right?
Yep.
So that would be a big win. So that'll help them out.
That would help Alabama. If
I don't think Ohio State would drop down if Penn State beats Ohio State.
Really?
But they will put a 1-loss Saban team before they put a 1-loss Ohio State team.
I see the logic.
I can see that.
Ryan Day ain't John. What's his name?
Urban Meyer.
Yeah, he ain't there no more.
But they have something that they call a game flow. I think it's like control of the game. Like how, like are you? I really don't know what it means. But from what it sounds like is, are you really in control of the game and dominating? Like for if LSU the game, that's game flow, game control, or whatever. The fact that they lost control of that game and had to hold on and make big plays.
It was like, did the time just run out, or did you actually win?
Right.
Yeah, I think Alabama gonna find a
They
way
gonna
to squeeze them in.
They gonna get in at 4.
They cannot repeat the mistakes.
I guarantee there's
going to
be multiple one-loss teams in the top 5, maybe even top 6. And
Alabama's
then you're
schedule is so bad, though.
I understand that, but the brand is so strong. And that LSU game was really good. Like, people will go for ratings over, and they'll go for ratings over all that shit.
Here's the talking point a lot of people are throwing out. They're talking about that 9-6 LSU win over Alabama, and then the rematch.
29-zip.
Yeah, so I don't think they want to repeat that.
And also, some people said that going with that whole Belichick lost on purpose thing. Not saying that Saban lost on purpose, but that seemed like people were saying like LSU's best. Like, that was their best game.
And it wasn't.
You don't think so?
Nope. I've been watching this kid Burrow. That kid can play. He was, remember, I don't know if you noticed, but he was supposed to play in Ohio State.
Yeah, because Ohio State got all the good quarterbacks recently.
He has the talent. He's the one thing that LSU hasn't had, and that's a quarterback.
And I would love to see LSU versus Ohio State for the championship.
And I just been kind of just watching, like, man, this kid can really play. And most of the time when I latch on to a kid in college, like I latched on to Winston, Cam Newton, Lamar Jackson, and Haskins. Burrow's the one. I never was a believer in Mariota like that. I thought his offense carried him. But Burrow, man, there's something about him, man. Like, he looked professional.
His post-game interview, he was with his the running back number 22. They was like together. You could tell they had like a brotherhood of friendship.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, he's so happy that he made that transfer to LSU, because a lot of people were questioning, like, why are you going to LSU if you're a quarterback? Which doesn't make sense to me, because I'm like, it's a big program. Why would I not? But he took a chance.
Because LSU typically don't have good quarterbacks in their offense. When Les Miles was there, it wasn't very QB friendly.
And they got the offensive coordinator or some
Oregon or something
from the Saints. Yeah, he's like he came from the Saints, so that's why he was like, this offense is like.
And they were showing like the comparison between the receivers this year to Alabama, it was identical.
Yeah,
that's all the quarterbacks.
Because Alabama's got 3 receivers that's going probably in the first round.
Yep. Because remember LSU had OBJ and Landry, and we didn't see any of what they could do until they got to the NFL. I mean, you saw some highlights here or there, but they didn't have a quarterback that can throw them game. This kid was poised. He made big throws. He made big runs. He didn't panic. He didn't get too ahead of himself. He played well. I give Tua a lot of props for his comeback, but there were times in the game he looked defeated.
Tua looked. I don't know. He lost a lot of draft stock this season.
I do think he is because I think he's brittle.
And I think even if he won that game, he still lost draft stock.
I think Kyler is going to save him. I think Kyler Murray is saving him because Kyler looks good.
But that's only out of shotgun, right? He only can do shotgun.
All you have to do is find the right pairing. And if that's what they do, then they can work out. So I think, and we know he got the arm talent.
He has the talent and intangibles, but some of that, like, he gets skittish if there's not a clean pocket.
He does. And
I called that out after that championship game they lost. I was like, man, I haven't seen him like that ever.
I saw it last year too. I was like, He got the talent, but he gets happy feet. Like Jimmy G. Mm-hmm. We didn't talk about Jimmy G, but Jimmy G had happy feet.
Jimmy G was trying to give that game up.
Jimmy G not trying to. He did give it away.
Man, he should have had like 7 picks.
And that sack fumble, props to Clowney, but because in the first half, Jimmy was looking all right. I was like, oh, look, what happened?
They threw up 10 points early.
Yeah, and then he fumbled, and then the game got close, and then what Kyle said in the chat about Kyle Shanahan, like, I think he called 3 pass plays when he should have ran the ball. And that left time on the clock for them to lose the game.
For OT.
He did the same shit again.
It's like, how do you not run the ball when you have a minute, they had like a minute 50 left or something like that, and you can end the game in a tie, regardless of how it's going to end. It will not hurt you if you just keep running this ball because they had no timeouts left.
And you called 3 pass plays with Tevin Coleman who could pop one,
and then they gave up what 25 seconds on the clock. So you give Russell Wilson and Seattle Seahawks $125 to go field.
So Jimmy G, this, and we talked about last episode about our predictions. So. The loss isn't that much of a shocker because I expect them to lose games. You're not going to go undefeated anyway. Jimmy G, but when I saw that 2-minute drive,
he did lose Sanders and he didn't have Kittle. I'm gonna shoot him some bail with that. But outside of that, he ain't getting shit up.
That was I did consider that because of how good he looked when he had Sanders. But when that pressure was coming, man,
he was just throwing it.
He was doing that Dak dance. He was doing that Dak dance in the pocket.
Oh yeah,
that's what he was doing.
Hey, I'm gonna do that in the club one of these days.
But in the first half, I mean, he was climbing in the pocket. He made his reads, and maybe they changed up the defense on him. I didn't read much after the game, but it's a learning experience, and we'll see. But if when the lights get bright and that's how he's gonna play. I'll put it this way. When the lights get bright and that's how both of them are going to perform, it's not going to be good look. It's not going to be good.
Yeah, and then you got,
Justin
you can't
Herbert, coach the
the
game away like that.
You got all these. This is supposed to be another good QB draft class, like at least 3-4 of them coming out.
They'll still keep Jimmy, but my thing is that you're only going to go so far. And when you're Kyle Shanahan, now it's one thing like we giving Kyle the props. But now we saw what you did in the Super Bowl, and here's a regular season game that matters. And like you said, a tie doesn't hurt you, and you do the same thing that cost you the Super Bowl.
What is it? Same shit, different day.
Man,
it's like
3 pass play, and you saw your quarterback just threw two damn interceptions.
My only thing is, the other team has no timeouts. You can do 3 kneels and tie, or you can just keep running and trying to get to a field goal.
That's terrible coaching. He knows better, and you have to coach around Jimmy. He's not all the way there yet. He hasn't played like this is his first full season, so you can't be doing that. He fucked that one up. They both did. And if I'm a 49ers fan, I'm concerned. On the flip side, you were like, "Hey, we almost won it, but shit, you lost it a couple of times.
You should. That should have been a blowout game.
2 fumble losses by Jimmy.
That should have been a blowout game.
Yeah, it should have been. Well,
from Seattle side, like they should have. More points.
When they got the lead, they should have went there and piled on. Because you know what? Russell Wilson fucked up. We're gonna be even about this. Like he threw in what should have been the game ending interception in OT. Mm-hmm. He had the forced fumble that got 49ers back in the game that went for a touchdown. Same thing that Jimmy did. So they kind of mirrored each other in this weird sort of way.
But
coaching.
I shoot Russell Bale just for the fact that we always talk about what he has to overcome and all the shit that he has. He has to be great every Sunday. He has
better weapons than San Francisco.
He does, but he has to be. He just got Josh Gordon. Like this is the first game.
Well, Josh Gordon was limited, but he did lose Lockett. But overall, his team is better.
Overall, it is. But
and he has the better coach.
But that's mostly based off of him. That's not based off of the weapons around him.
Pete Carroll.
And
a sound running game. That Seattle
the
team
scheme of the running game. You be poo pooing on Chris Carson. So I don't say the running game as far as like the back. It's more of like the team and how they run everybody. Anybody behind that backfield is going to get 1,000 yards just because they're going to run it at least 30 times a game. So my thing is that Russell Wilson has to be perfect damn near in every game for them to be in it. And this is the first time you've seen him like have blemishes. But
maybe not. I don't know. I do know that Russell doesn't panic.
Yeah, this is only his second pick in 8 games.
Yeah, and we saw the difference in the quarterbacks in late game situations, pressure moments. Russ doesn't have that. Plus, he has the stability of coaching and it feels comfortable. I mean, because he won 2 Super Bowls.
He went to 2.
He went to 2 Super Bowls with him. Kyle went to 1 either, but. Damn, Pete Carroll gave 1 away too.
Yeah,
but
by not running
either way it go, man. Like Russ made his mistakes, but what Russ has is he has that X factor. He has that it factor where, just like Brady, no matter what happens, if you give him the ball, even when he make a mistake, you're probably going to lose. And that's what happened. And he ended up losing, even in spite of the mistakes he made, because Russ can overcome his mistakes. Pete Carroll can help Russ overcome some of those mistakes. Jimmy and Kyle cannot do that.
Contract is pretty much up as far as like if they want to eat some money, they could, and they could draft a QB. Nonetheless, I wouldn't be surprised if they draft a QB this year anyway.
I think they need to draft a QB, especially if one falls to them. I don't know who they have as their backup, so I don't think it would hurt for them to go ahead and get one. But I think going 8-1 with a limited Jimmy G, I think is gonna. We'll see how the second half plays out.
I just think that you can put anybody with Kyle Shanahan and he'll make them shine.
I think he wants Jimmy G, and I think he wants to shine with Jimmy G, and I think he believes in Jimmy G. If he continues to be successful and winning with him in the second half, they're not going to get rid of Jimmy G. If they fall apart, they may start looking.
Anything else about college that you want to touch on?
Nah.
Yeah, it's getting to that time though, so yeah,
it is.
We'll be diving into it. We could talk about the NBA a little bit. It's still early. I'm like, damn. Like,
before we get on that, Major League Baseball.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
The Astros have been and this trending. That's how big this is. But the Astros 2017 team, World Series team, has been accused of stealing signals. Funny enough, signal stealing has been a topic of discussion for the last couple of months in the Major League Baseball. There's a video, and I'll put that in the show notes of how they did it. So whenever there's a changeup, there will be a loud bang, boom, boom, in the dugout to let the batter know that that's what's being called. And if it's fastball, it wouldn't be anything. I listened to it.
And it's consistent?
I listened to it. I heard it myself. And I was like, damn, like they got him. Carson Smith, the Boston reliever, also accused him of doing the same thing as well. And the thing cheating is cheating, and signal stealing in baseball isn't uncommon. But dang, man, like the guy that snitched on him was the guy that was on that team.
Really?
Mike Fires. He was like, yeah, I want to believe in the integrity of the sport and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, bro, you got a World Series ring because of them. He snitched in the Athletic.
Wow. Is it like that commercial?
Oh, somebody need to go see him.
Man.
Somebody need to go see him.
I don't know if y'all saw that commercial with that kid on the basketball court where he was like, he was out of bounds, but they didn't call it. Yeah. And he was like, Coach, I was out.
I was out. I touched it. He was like, I touched it. I did, man. I touched it.
I couldn't believe it, man. I'm like, dang, is he really snitching on his whole team?
Man, you ain't in trouble till you get caught. That's all I'll go by.
And they didn't get caught, but now that this is a scandal, we're gonna see how it plays out. But I think the thing, in addition to that, is that if you think about the Astros and when they were lighting people up, like, is this the formula to their success? Because they couldn't hit anybody in the World Series. So I don't know.
Yeah, damn. Tell take the titles away?
Nah, they ain't gonna do that. But well, I don't know.
That would make a statement.
I don't know.
I think that to make a statement, put an example.
Yeah,
I think you need to do something like that.
If you're accused of, that'd be kind of stupid.
Yeah. Season is washed.
They should be happy that we talking about baseball after the season.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, so anyway, this is a developing story. Lots to be found out. So we'll talk about it as more news come out.
NBA mostly got some rumors, and I got one for you. There's a possible rumor that the Warriors could trade for Andre Drummond. I don't know if you heard about that. It's a 3-team trade.
I didn't hear about that.
It seems like they're trying to retool while this whole slow rebuild, or whatever you want to call it, play as we go.
Quit.
Right.
But it seems like it's word around the street.
What's the 3-team trade?
I didn't go into the full details, but I think it was obviously Warriors, Pistons, and I think they're looking for a third team to make the money make sense and for the players to make sense as well. I thought that was interesting because you've been harping on Andre Drummond for at least the last couple seasons, definitely this season, how he's been playing. That could be a really good piece for them.
Why they got that man dribbling the ball up court?
Ooh, Tristan Thompson?
No, Drummond. They do. I
I
was watching.
what do they do?
I was watching them against the Nets, and I saw him keep on bringing the ball up court. I'm like, and he's not even like a.
He's not Shaq.
Yeah,
like he's not Shaq could bring the ball up court. Like, bro, you're not Shaq. It's weird, but that is interesting with the Warriors quitting ass.
Yeah, I mean, shit, they lost my respect.
Draymond came out there and he got ejected in like the first. I'm back. He went and sat down on the bench,
sucking on his thumb. There's another rumor as far as Draymond going to Portland. And I think FIFO brought this up as far as that would be a great pickup.
Would be a good
man.
fit.
Because my question was, what's going on with Portland? Because Portland hasn't been
they
playing.
always start slow. Remember, they do. Dame put up 60 on somebody,
and they lost.
Hey, so
against the Nets.
Hey, Kyrie
at home.
Kyrie, that dude, man. They just underperforming.
Real quick, and so after 9 games in the season so far,
it's not a good team. They're playing hard.
After 9 games in the season so far in the East, you got Boston at 8-1, Miami 7-3, Miami, Milwaukee, Philly, and Toronto are all 7-3. Indiana 7-4.
Shout out to the Raptors.
Right, yeah. Brooklyn 4-5, Charlotte 4-6, and then it gets worse after that. Atlanta's 3-6. In the West, you got LA and Denver both at 7-2. You got Houston and Clippers and Utah all at 7-3. Phoenix at 6-3. Dallas and Minnesota 6-4.
Wait, what's the Lakers record again?
7-2. They tied for the best record
with the Clippers.
No, Clippers is 7-3. Denver is 7-2.
Okay.
I think didn't the Lakers just lose to?
Yeah, they lost to the Raptors.
To the Raptors. Yeah. 82 games
without Ibaka and
Lowry.
Yeah. We'll see.
Yeah, LeBron was kind of being very passive in that fourth quarter. I don't understand why.
Yeah, it looked like it was a weird game.
They be trying to force feed AD too much.
I don't know Vogel's. I have to watch more games, but it's weird because I saw you say that in the group chat, and I responded because when he was in New Orleans, they didn't have to get AD the ball.
I don't know if it's because they want the offense to flow through LeBron.
Yeah, that's what I got to figure out.
They rather have anybody on the court. We want LeBron to have the ball, which makes sense. But at the same time, it's like you don't need to play with AD like that.
Yeah,
like, AD can go get his own. Or at least he's supposed. That's what you traded him for.
No, he can.
So that's what I'm saying. Like I've seen him, and he has some pretty good games so far this season already as well. But like the way they're playing it with him is like he's not JaVale McGee. Like you can let him do him.
Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it.
It's still early though. Yeah, it's still.
They don't have all their guys. Kuzma just getting back. Rondo is on the way back. So,
I think Rondo played tonight or the other night. Yeah.
But I give him props, man. 7 straight. Like many people were low on them.
Yeah.
Like they look good.
They do. They do look good. They looked good last year too, as well, though.
Yeah.
So
they didn't look like this.
They were like number 3 in the West.
4. It was 4.
That was 4, but it took them a minute to get up to speed. They didn't come out the gate like this.
Yeah, they didn't. Not last year. No.
Yeah, I give you that.
Yeah, this was a struggle. So, but we'll see. It's so early.
Another rumor I had was D'Angelo Russell could land in Chicago, and I was thinking about that as far as AD and his conversations.
No. AD ain't going to Chicago.
If you got Zach LaVine, D'Angelo Russell,
I'm not
even
Wendell Carter
either.
I'm just saying.
I think people just heard him say that and just ran with it. I even think AD was trolling the reporters when he said that. I didn't even think he took that serious when he said it. I'm like, yeah. Whatever.
There's no money in Chicago.
Yeah, there's none.
But as far as legacy,
now I would say right. I would say this: if
he could bring Chicago back.
If Lakers win a championship this year. And then he'd be like, okay, well, I came here and got a ship. I can play for my hometown.
Pull a Kawhi.
Yeah. I can see him if they win a championship this year.
But we have no reason.
But like, if they like close, if they right on the cusp, he ain't leaving LA. He ain't leaving LeBron to go play for damn Chicago. Like, no, he's not doing that.
The biggest storyline that I'm hearing right now, and of course, this is dealing with my Knicks. It seems like it's a dumpster fire already.
I feel bad for Fizdale. Man.
Yeah, they trying to get him out. Steven Mills. I was trying to promote. Man. I was trying to be like, man, this is the best pro black team in the NBA, and they infighting early. The Knicks is trying to
not even 10 games.
They don't even like Steve Mills, to be honest. Because they trying to get the Raptors GM Sai Ujiri.
Yep.
They trying to get him.
So that's why he doing all this.
Yes, he's putting he's trying to push this fire to the coach.
Yeah,
because he's saying that these niggas looking at me because he's been Look at all the coaching changes he's had under his regime of the last even 5 years. You have, and these are just some random ass niggas. You got, Kurt Rambis? You got Derek Fisher. You got Mike Woodson. You got what's his name? John.
It don't matter.
But
it don't matter.
It's just like all these motherfuckers. Like, all right, everybody's been here. We've been dealing with all this shit. We gotta look at you now. You're the only consistent thing right now.
You gotta go at. I mean, even if it wasn't, you still gotta go after Masai. I mean,
and
he's
because
just really good at what he does,
and because Giannis is up in 2021. You can't dream, Ken. Basketball's about dreams. Ball is life.
he may.
If we get us,
Oh yeah, because Masai's African, right?
yeah,
Oh yeah,
he's the one that's a big part of the NBA Africa thing.
Oh, so yeah, that's possible. They got a connection.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that, and I think he's just a phenomenal GM, by the way.
Oh
Especially
yeah.
he can leave. He can leave Toronto. And nobody really would
He did
complain.
it in Denver. He did it in Toronto.
If he could do it with the Knicks, they could build a statue for him right then and there.
And if you Giannis, I mean, Giannis seems like he's big on legacy. To go to New York and turn that around,
big market like that. Yeah,
you can do that shit in Milwaukee,
and that would help him out as far as the individual awards. I know we all supposed to think about championships, but as far as him, like that whole MVP conversation we had last year, as far as like, can we really see a foreign player as an MVP? That would nix that if he's in a big market.
Well, he already got the
MVP. He already got.
I mean, I'm saying like with moving forward in his legacy, like we won't look at him as you just a good foreign player. Like I feel like what we do with
he'll always be African.
But
it's the name we can't get away from.
But he could be the Elijah ones as far as you look at him as the player, not where he came from. Like we don't look at him in a separate category like we would Manu. As far as like, he's the best.
I don't think I've ever looked at him that way though.
I think some people have. They don't. You don't talk about Giannis like you talk about Kawhi, the LeBrons, the KDs. Like he's up there because of his stats, but not as far as presence.
He a little bit more known now. He been making more social media. He's in commercials now and stuff.
That Hulu shit.
All the people in that Hulu shit ain't been balling. Like, so, we'll see.
Giannis been doing his thing though.
Yeah,
shooting threes and shit.
Yeah.
Look at the Greek freak expanding his range.
But
that would be a good look.
Is Fizdale? Is it justifiable for him to be in the hot seat?
No, absolutely not. This is definitely Steve Mills trying to save his job. I read that report, and when this fool talking about we should be competitive with the other teams,
right?
I was like, with
Stephen
what?
A. lost it on a damn on this show.
Yeah, he did. Because at first I thought it was like, okay, we shouldn't be 2-8.
That's what I was thinking.
That's what I thought. But then when I read that, he said he thought they should be competing with the top teams in the East.
Oh no, hell no! You're
blind, brother.
I want to make
you're
sure
a nincompoop if you're saying that shit.
I was like,
because I was
shout out to Larry David.
I was thinking like, all right, you're 2-8. You got blown out by Cleveland. You got beat bad by Sacramento. All right, these are the teams that you should be like. You should be more competitive and win a game here and there. As far as the rest of the top of the East, top of the West, don't even worry about that. If you can even get it close in the fourth quarter, that's a big win for me. And obviously, my main thing is the progression of this young talent. Yes, you brought in Julius Randle, even though he ain't what the free agent we wanted. But I'm all about R.J. Barrett, Kevin Knox,
and he regressing.
Frank Nicolina, who's been since he came out of that was it a FIBA Frank, wherever they calling him. He's been balling. Dennis Smith Jr. I think it's done for him. I think we should let him go. But nonetheless, the young talent, we need to keep that going and seeing that progression.
Yeah, and that's what I thought was the issue because R.J. Barrett looked good and then he didn't. And then I saw the rotation and Kevin Knox was coming off the bench. I'm like, they didn't draft him for no reason. Why are you bringing him off the bench?
I think it was more because we need a spark off the bench, and you have to justify the players that we already paid.
The Knicks want to play their players. I think that's my
the fans want to see that. But as far as the paycheck, you gotta play the Morris brother. You gotta play Julius Randle.
He could be a spark off the bench.
You need to play at least Bobby Portis or
he could be a spark off the bench. We know what he is. Develop these young guys. So that's what I thought it was. I thought it was the fact that he wasn't developing the young guys.
No, I think it's the record. I think they should be more 4-4 than 2-8, or like if it's out of 10, I think 4-6 than 2-8. But at the same time, again, you're dealing with so much young talent. You can't ask for being more than 5. All I want for Christmas is for the Knicks to be 500. I don't give a damn how they get there. Just get it done. And that's the only pressure I'm putting on Fizdale. Is like, how great of a coach can you win? Like when that win in Dallas, that was a great win.
Yeah,
that was a great win. Even in Chicago, that was a great win. Granted, it's only the only 2 wins you could talk about, but they showed a lot in those wins.
Yeah, and I'm looking. I just damn. Then they just got smacked tonight. Kobe White finally came back. Let's see. I like RJ Barrett though. Let's see. Where is it? Because I want to see this. I want to see what he said. I want to make sure, and then we're gonna get out of here. All of the Knicks brass on notice, including you, my brother. Like that. Let's see. What did he say? This was the thing that I scoffed at. Everyone is. Where is it?
Oh, in the meantime, PG is coming back this week. I believe he's gonna play Wednesday or Thursday.
Cool, bet.
Yeah,
he on my fan.
I want him to play up to Wednesday because they play against Houston, but I think he played. I think he's come back for the Pelicans.
I need to take him off the IR then.
So we'll see if he can help out with the load management. That's the least you can do. At least if Kawhi's sitting, you gotta play PG. You can't have both of them sitting out. Even though he's coming back from his surgery. This whole season is about y'all winning a chip. Play the motherfuckers.
I think people are overrating the Clippers.
Yeah, I think Clippers gonna be all right. They're gonna be one of the top teams.
They gonna be top 3 in the West.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Them, LA, and I like Utah. I'm gonna keep on talking about Utah until they prove me wrong.
Damn, where is it? I just clicked on the same article, but I can't find it.
Utah shaky right now just because of Mike Conley. Once he get his shot right,
yeah,
he'll be tough. We're not even 15 games in just yet.
Not even 10. We're 9 games in. But it's gonna be somewhere in the 11 or 12 by the end of this week. But yeah, we still not even 10 games in yet, man.
This is still just crazy, man. That everybody's on the hot seat, though. That's what I don't understand. And who's creating this seat?
Boston got the best record in the league right now.
Yep.
Man,
I don't know how long is that gonna last.
No, I think Kemba Walker getting in his stride.
You think they get further this year than last year with the Celtics?
I mean, what they win second round exit, right?
Yeah.
So you saying Eastern Conference Finals?
Here it is.
Maybe?
Yeah, so Woj and Malika Andrews reported Monday that Mills has started to lay the internal groundwork for the eventual dismissal of Fizdale while trying to protect himself by telling owner James Dolan the roster was built to contend in the weaker Eastern Conference. Contend is the operative word for me. Contend with what? Contend to me means that you're thinking that you're going to be a playoff team.
Right.
That you're going to be like competing for the 8th seed. I just don't see it.
Y'all playing for that first round pick again. The most lottery balls.
With a rookie RJ Barrett, Kevin Knox, who is more of a scorer than anything, and Julius Randle. What the hell are you going to do?
Right.
So
yeah, I mean, shit. That's the, I don't know. I don't know why I do this to myself. I pick the teams. I don't know why the teams I love. They cause me the most heartache.
Should be like me, man. Just watch from afar.
Be a deadbeat sports fan.
Yep.
All right. That'll do it for us this week as far as my topics.
Yeah, it will. And I want to get into this load management, but we're going to wait till FIFO comes back because I want to get his thoughts on this whole thing. I think it's ridiculous, but yeah, that's gonna do it for us this week. We'll catch you guys next time. Oh, damn it! I'm sorry. I told somebody I was gonna read their comment on there. Let me see if I can find the Twitter. He hit me up. He was mad about Embiid. Let's see where he's at. Oh man, I didn't. Oh yeah, so @_ Castell. So this is a message that I got from the DM. So he said he was listening to Dead End Sports at work because that's what I do, and y'all need to put some respect on the Greek Freak's name. The man's almost a year younger than Embiid and has led his team to the first seed in the NBA record-wise with much less talent than Boston, Philly, or Toronto. Also, my boy took the Celtics to 7 last year, and the Sixers only took them to 5, so get that narrative out of here. Great podcast, though, but I had to defend my favorite player. Then he also said Embiid is 25, turns 26 in March. Giannis is 24. Ben Simmons is 23. Facts only. FIFA saying Embiid is 23 is way off. He was out for the first 3 years, which is true. So
I forgot that we didn't see Embiid until like later on.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't think this is even a discussion as far as who's the best player between Giannis and Embiid, because obviously Giannis is the most consistent player between the two, and he got the MVP. But I will say this: my main concern against Giannis is more about, can he get a mid range? Until he gets a mid range, he can't be the. I want to say he's the. I was about to say that last year. I think I did say last year too. I was trying to say he's the best player in the league. But until he gets that, I'm not talking about much like a Chris Middleton mid range, or
he sound like we sound when we talk about Ben Simmons.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
if he can just get that, he'll be literally the best player in the league. There will be no hands down. No, I don't care if it's Kawhi. I don't care if it's KD. Giannis, if he can get a 16-footer, he will be the best player in the league.
I don't know if Giannis is better than Embiid, but we can have that discussion later.
Yeah.
You know how I feel about Embiid. He ain't done shit. You can't with him.
Oh shit.
But yeah, that's
Anyway, all right, man. We'll catch y'all later. We out.